Most philosophers spend their entire lives trying to answer philosophical questions. However, Ludwig Wittgenstein spent his entire life trying to end them. Not because he didn't care about philosophy, but because twice he became convinced that philosophy itself was the problem. And both times he thought he had finished it for good. In 1921, Wittgenstein published a short, cryptic book called the Tractatus Logico Philosophicus. It opens with absolute confidence. The world is everything that is the case. His idea was radical and clean. Language works through picturing facts. If a sentence can map onto a possible state of the world, it makes sense. And if it can't, then it doesn't. That single picture redraws the borders of meaning. Science, meaningful. Logic, meaningful. But ethics, metaphysics, aesthetics, questions about value or ultimate reality, those don't picture facts, so they can't really be said. They can only be shown. At the end of the book, Wittgenstein drops the bomb. Once you understand this, you should throw the book away like a ladder. And he meant it. He thought philosophy's job was finished. Wittgenstein didn't celebrate. He left. He abandoned academic philosophy entirely. He became a school teacher, designed a house, lived simply, and avoided philosophers. Why? Because if philosophy's only task was to mark the limits of sense, and he had done that, then continuing philosophy would just mean talking nonsense again. This was his first time giving up. But something started bothering him. The Tractatus depended on a single, abstract logical structure underlying all language. And real language didn't behave that way. People don't speak in logical diagrams. They joke, command, pray, argue, promise, and curse. By 1929, Wittgenstein returned to Cambridge, not confident, but uneasy. He began to think that his earlier attempt to end philosophy was itself another philosophical illusion. In the philosophical investigations, everything changes. Wittgenstein stops trying to explain language. Instead, he starts watching it. Words don't get meaning from hidden definitions or mental objects. They get meaning from use. Philosophical problems arise, he says, when language goes on holiday. When words are ripped out of their everyday contexts and forced into theoretical roles where they never were meant to play. So, philosophy isn't about discovering deep truths. It's about undoing confusion, like therapy. Not curing ignorance, but curing temptation. The temptation to theorize. Wittgenstein now says something even more radical. Philosophy is not a body of doctrine, it's an activity. Its success isn't measured by new theories, but by silence. When the confusion dissolves, the urge to philosophize disappears. And when that happens, there's nothing left to do, so yes, he gives up on philosophy again. But this time, on purpose. Wittgenstein didn't abandon philosophy because he failed. He abandoned it because he thought philosophy misunderstood itself. And his final message is unsettling. Maybe the deepest philosophical insight is realizing when to stop philosophizing at all.